We all want to make a little bit of extra money in our college careers, and since most of us haven't started an actual career yet, that could be hard, and that check from Subway just isn't going to cut it anymore. But the food industry is still a great place to look for work. I found especially that waiting tables is great for college kids because however much money you put, or however much work you put in, is however much money you're going to get out, and you get paid in cash at the end of every shift. But honestly, waiting tables can be kind of daunting at first, so that's why I put together this list of tips and tricks to help make your waiting job easier and more profitable, which is going to be worth the extra effort. First, I want to share with you some tips to make your waiting job easy. First and foremost, you want to take everything slow. So you're going to get usually a choice of how many tables you can take at one time. Your manager's going to start you off with just a few tables when you're just starting a waiting job, but eventually they're going to ask you if you can take more and more. Now, what I recommend is that you slowly build the amount of tables that you can take over the course of maybe a week or a couple weeks. This is going to make it a whole lot easier on you instead of just taking a whole lot of tables all at once. Next thing you want to do is write everything down. It's good to try to memorize your customers' orders still, but no matter what, you want to still write it all down. I actually have a couple strategies to help you do so. This first one, I like to call the placement strategy. What I basically do is draw a large diagram of the table and write down everyone's corresponding orders next to where they would be sitting at the table. This next one, I call the list strategy. It's very similar, except you make a small diagram of the table in the upper left-hand corner of the ticket, and then you just number it with all the different customers. And then you take those numbers and you bring them down into a list format where you write the actual orders. This one seems very efficient to me, but it takes quite a while. All right, next, let's talk about some tips to make some tips. Let's make some money. First thing you want to do is always introduce yourself to the table. You want to say, welcome to the restaurant, then state your name, and then say something friendly, something along the lines of, and I'll be happy to serve you tonight. This creates a personal connection between you and your customer, and usually that leads to more tips. Next thing you want to do is, and I hate to say it, fake your personality, because yours sucks. No, I'm just messing. But what you want to do is smile all the time and be very animated and very friendly, and no one is really like that all the time. You're not really allowed to be shy because they might not hear what you're saying to them, or they may think you're not friendly enough to ask for help. So basically you want to match the level of talkativeness of your table. Next thing is refills. You can never have too many refills, ever. Your customers, usually that's the first thing they take into consideration when they are writing your tip, which is kind of weird, but that's the way it is. And lastly, never, ever mention the tip to them. Just don't do it. It makes it seem like you're pandering to them no matter what you say about it, and it's never a good idea. So those are some tips and tricks to help you out with your waiting job. Honestly, the number one thing I could say is if you treat your customers like human beings, they'll treat you like human beings, and it's going to make it a lot easier. So what I found is doing this in college helps you with a better social life, and it also makes you quite a big amount of money. Not as much as your favorite drug dealer, but still pretty good. So thanks for listening, and you go out there and you serve some tables and you make some money.